We're at the OLG Dream Deck, and they're all about making dreams come true. When did you start dreaming about becoming an artist, becoming an actor? Has that dream been fulfilled, or are you still, reaching for that goal?
So I don't know if any of you know the movie. It's a French movie called The Chorus. It takes place in an orphanage, and it's French kids singing songs about despair. And it really moved me when I watched it when I was like 7. And I remember intensely crying on my mother's lap because I realized that kids could act in movies. So I begged her to be an actress as well, and she was like, no. But she's encouraging now, but like she was against the idea of me being a child star, and I'm grateful for that actually. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was like, I'm gonna be a musician and I'm gonna do some normal stuff, and then I was like watching the Disney Channel because I loved some good old Hannah Montana. But yeah, I wanted to make people laugh. I mean, I'm not doing any comedies right now, far from actually, but I just love entertaining, I guess.
Do you guys have a dream role that you would love to pursue one day?
I'd actually want to play the first black astronaut, Guillaume Belfort. I think that would be an incredible role. So I follow his story. I think he's incredible. Not enough people know who he is. I mean, we've seen a lot of variations of astronauts, in their stories. But I think, being a black astronaut, we never really seen that yet, I think. That'd be a cool story.
Producers in the room, I hope you just heard that.
Take notes.
Let's get the rights.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen the movie from Jacques Audiard. It's just a normal guy who ends up in prison and has to learn how to deal with all the prison world, and I'd really love to go in that world because I know my face doesn't scream like gangster and street kid when you see it.
Of course it does. What are you talking about?
Thanks, but thanks. That's nice.
You're welcome.
So I'd like to do something more of like that's far from my casting, if something like that. Yeah, I'd like to do that.
I feel like my dream as an actor and dream role is I just want to play roles that I feel like you can learn something about humans from, if that makes sense. So it could be like a bitch in a like chick flick, or it could be like a psychopath. Like I don't know, but as long as I feel like it's real and has a good story.
I like playing women that people would want to have lunch with. That's sort of a good key for me. But then also, like, my imagination is really good, but she's limited. So I don't know what, like, other people are cooking up, and I just like to remain open. And also, I want to continue to choose projects that scare me in some way and force me to push myself. It's like things that confuse me and the audience, and just want to kind of mess people up.
Can you talk about maybe the best piece of advice that you've been given along the way so far?
I sort of realized that I fuel a lot on people who told me that I would never be an actor growing up. So it's a really subjective job. So some people like you, some people don't. So I always sort of have a chip on the shoulder and trying to prove them that I can do this. And so that keeps me going. That's like my focus. I don't know if it's negative. I don't know if it's bad for my mental health, but but it keeps me going.
I mean, you're here, so I think you're to any high school teachers who said anything to Mikhail.
I always like to think of people I know in my life who really wanted to be artists and didn't get the opportunity to. And I was going to say something else, but I've forgotten, so never mind.
So I remember my first day ever on a movie set. I had the luck that my best friend was acting in the movie as well. And I was terrified, and he just told me how we're all here for creating something, and that it's a space for trying, and we're all trying to to achieve the same thing that is art. Like a movie is not just about you, it's about lighting, it's about everything else, so it helps.
From watching people that I really admire, I feel like that's where I learned the most. And like I worked with this actress named Jennifer Ely twice, and she's the nicest woman on the planet. And I was like, you can go so far just being a good person. Like, honestly, people remember it. The crew remembers, the director remembers, the producers remember, casting remembers. And I just think, you know, you learn more, you receive more, you listen better when you actually have good intention, you're putting good energy out there. So I just be nice. It goes a long way.
Mine's pretty simple. Just my artistic director. You know, I went to Wexford School for the Arts in Scarborough, and she always used to say, "It's not about you; it's about the work and being of service to the work." And so for me, that's kind of my two fundamental points of just keeps me going. You know, it keeps your ego out. It keeps you true to the materials that you're working on, and you know, there's the auditions, there's the bureaucracy of the business of filmmaking and getting a career. But if you just stick at it and just keep working and doing great work, I mean, it's inevitable, you know. So that's kind of that's kind of my mantras and the things that I've learned and, you know, been able to apply to my career today that, you know, I think it's working.
There is a reason why you're all here today, and that's because you all have a film and festival. So I was just wondering if you could tell us, what film are you in? What can these people go check you out in? Let us know.
I'm in a movie called 20th Century by Matthew Rankin. This is a crazy, crazy movie. It's political. It's funny. It's about Mackenzie King, an Canadian Prime Minister, but it's not about him at the same time. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember those Heritage Moments ads we had on TV. It's like exactly that, but on acid. So you really should go out and see it. It's great.
I'm in Disco by Jorunn Myklebust Syversen. It's a Norwegian film, and it's a film about like faith, hope, and doubt. I think it's a good film, so you should see it. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm nervous and awkward. I'm awkward. I'm just an awkward Norwegian.
Yeah, I'm in a film called Waves, directed by Trey Edward Schultz. And it's about a suburban Florida family trying to navigate forgiveness and hope and healing. I play a 17-year-old wrestler in high school who has a lot going on in his little brain. And the boy, honestly, he needs a whooping, but that's a different story.
In the movie, it's called Antigone. It's by Québécois filmmaker Sophie de Raspe. And I'm, for those who know the Greek myth, Antigone, it's a rewriting of that. And it's set in Montreal, and it's about Antigone as a 16-year-old refugee.
I'm in the film White Lie. Calvin Thomas and Yona Lewis made it. And it's a story of a young university student who's faking cancer for her own personal and financial gain. And her lie is outed by someone very close to her, and she has to kind of scramble to figure out if she wants to keep the lie going or let it go. And it's a lot. Check it out.
I'm premiering Endings and Beginnings tonight, actually, with Shailene Woodley, Sebastian Stan, and Jamie Dornan, directed by Drake Doremus. And it's funny because there's no lines in the script. It's just kind of situational. So we would go on set and we'd improv, and, you know, it's a love story. And I play Shailene Woodley's sister's husband, and I have a kid, my first kid, you know. And I know. She's cute, though. She looks just like me. Good casting. Anyways, so it's this is cool film, and yeah, I mean, it was pretty dope to work with some pretty cool people, you know, like Shailene Woodley, an Avenger, and the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. It's pretty wavy.
When do you rely more on your training as an actor or on your instincts?
I think the training is done in the private space. And then your instincts is when you're on set. You know, you do the preparation and all the work. I mean, this is for me at least. You know, I do the rehearsal process as much as I can. I get on my feet. I get physical. I do vocal warm-ups, you know, sense memory, you know, some Meisner. And I do as much work as I can with my acting coach and some of my friends who are actors, and just really workshopping the piece. Once I get to set, I try to just let all of that go. And I don't really look at my sides, you know, try to keep it open and just receptive and real. And then, yeah, and if I mess up, I scream for line, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think for me it depends on what the material is. I mean, of course, for preparing Antigone, it took me months because it had such baggage. It had, I mean, 2,000 years of story behind, you know. So I really wanted to take consideration of the other versions. They were truly inspiring for me. And then after this preparation there was place for more of an instinctual work.
I want to ask this question because I think a lot of people have misconceptions in terms of what actors do. And there's like this idea of that everything is glitz and glamour. What is something that you wish people knew about what you do as an actor, as an artist?
Well, the amount of work that actors put in. We're up at 5 in the morning, 12-hour days, and we're going back at home, checking your lines, and you're going back to sleep. This like all this TIFF thing with all the parties and stuff like that. I don't do that. I mean, when I'm working, it's just work. That's what you do. And people, I think, have this conception of you get to set and it's all glitters and handing you champagne and you getting makeup and. You know, we are very comfortable on set. We're very lucky to have people, you know, helping us out. But most of the time, it's just a grind, and the ups and downs of the business. That's what kills you most. One day I'm here doing this wonderful interview, and tomorrow I'm back home and I got no job. So that's not true. But I mean, like it could possibly be. It could happen like that. Next year we could meet each other and my career's over. So we never know. So that mentally is really challenging. That you never know. Is this the last time that I'm working, or is this going to happen again? So that is really tough on the mindset, I think.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, for waves, I'm not athletic. Let's get that clear. I would go to wrestling at 7 a.m., and then I would do CrossFit, and then I would do wrestling again at 6 p.m. So, and then I would have to eat like 4,000 calories a day because I was like 90 pounds at the time. And so it was just a lot of work, and I was not getting paid to do it. So, you know, it's coming out of your pocket a lot of the time, and it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of love that you have and respect for the project. And once you get there, then suddenly you're on a mat with like professional wrestlers, and you're like, please don't hurt me. And they don't care, because their coach said, take him. And that's just the reality, and it's not always my favorite day. I mean, I chipped my tooth, I had a black eye, and my head was a mess. And I was looking at my mirror, and I was like, was it worth it, Kelvin? It was like, hopefully we'll see. So, yeah, it's hard.
Who is your dream director that you'd like to work with?
I mean, if Ken Loach is here, I'd just like to say hi, you know. I know his movie is premiering here, so yeah.
Lynn Ramsey, I love Lynn Ramsey. We need to talk about Kevin Ratcatcher. What was her movie with Joaquin that just came out?
You were
You Were Never Really Here. Yeah. I was there in the theater watching. So good.
I would love to work with Todd Phillips, directors that are really character-driven, David Ayer. I love their processes and how they work. Scott Cooper, really fascinated by what he did with Out of the Furnace. And some Canadians that I would love to work with is Adam Magoyan, Cronenberg, both, you know. Yeah, and Stella McGee, actually. I'd love to work with her one day.
When you are first approached by a project, what is that special something that makes you say yes?
Is it an offer? Or am I auditioning? Which one is it?
That's
Tracy Brennan, what are we doing? Is it an offer or am I auditioning? And then she goes, it's an offer. And I'm like, yes, how much is it? We'll talk about that later. Shout out to Tracy Brennan, CA in the building. What's up? I'm my managers. Daniel and Paul, what's up? I'm my publicists. Lindsay Ludwig, what's up? Did I miss anybody? I got everybody? All right, cool. But yes, seriously though, I think the material, it has to be, you know, what's the question again? I wanted a tangent, I forgot.
When you're first approached by a project, what's that special something that makes you say yes?
Oh, lack of a job. I'm being real. Things just started popping this TIFF. Shout out to TIFF, TIFF Rising Stars. But with all seriousness, you know, it's just as I'm learning as an actor, as I grow into a man, I'm a young man, and is, you know, we're responsible as creators and filmmakers. We're responsible for the roles that we portray, you know, especially me being a black man. I got to be very aware of the characters that I dive into because perception is reality at times. And so I have to make sure anything that I'm doing can, you know, push the narrative of life, you know, in a forward, positive direction. So I try my best, you know, hopefully the next 10 years I can really pick whatever I want, but, you know, it's limited, and that's the struggle as well, you know, and it sounds like a cool question, but at the same time, it's like some of us don't really have the choices. We're still starting out. And sometimes we got to take what's given and, you know, do what we got to do, and we don't always want to do it. But there's a hierarchy, and you got to move up, and you got to get your flight time, as I call it. And, you know, hopefully one day we can get to Brad Pitt level and be like, I'll do that movie, and that movie, and that movie, you know? But, yeah, that's kind of my long-winded answer.
If it freaks me out a little, if I read it and that little voice in my head is like, you can't do this, then I'm like, watch me. Like, that's definitely a piece of it. And then if it's coming at a different angle that I haven't seen before or I haven't done before, I like. If it's centering voices that we don't normally see or people's stories that we don't normally see, I'm definitely more likely to be like, yeah, sure, I'll hop on board.
For me, one of the most important things that you feel like the director and scriptwriter wants to make the film because of something important, that you feel like this is important for this person, this is an important story for them to tell. And if I feel the same, like I wanna help tell the story. So it's all about the like feeling for me. Like if it's coming from the heart, then I'm in.
Shamir, you mentioned Wexford, Scarborough. What do you love about working in the Toronto scene and the Toronto film industry?
Well, I'm filming a movie right now in Toronto as we speak, which is really nice. I haven't been back home and worked at home for a very long time. And for me, it's just I get to see my mom, you know. I don't get to see her that much, and her Jamaican cooking some curry goat and rice, you know what I mean? But the people here, you know, I love this city so much. I love creative so much, you know, and the fact that, you know, everybody showed up here today. These moments that are so special that we can continue to learn from each other. You know, aside from the work, you know, for me, it's a very human experience, you know, and if it was up to me, I'd want to work here all the time, you know, but there's still work that needs to be done in the Canadian industry in the sense of, you know, we don't want Canadians to leave and then come back, you know, and so this is why we have these moments like this, like the TIFF Rising Stars and, you know, having individuals come here and do this. But the festival's incredible, you know what I mean, and things like that, and it's just, I mean, Toronto's the best. We're the champions. We won the basketball championship. I mean, we can go on for hours and days, you know? But I smile every day when I come home, so it's amazing for me.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to your
Mama
mom.
Karn. She's my date tonight, actually. Her and my aunt. Yep.
Your premiere.
My premiere, yeah.
Oh, see, now that's a gentleman.
Yeah, she's Jamaican, because if I didn't take her, she'd be like, Shamir, what you doing? Shamir. So I have no choice.
Questions for you, Casey.
Yeah.
Now that you've done movies, and then also you have your show, how different is it between having the show and having the movie? And do you have a preference for either one?
I mean, my goal in terms of setup for this whole time has been to have like a home show, like a series that really feeds me, and then in the off season pop off to do weird little wacky movies where I shave my head apparently in the off season. So I don't know that I have a preference. I just like doing good work. So whether that's in a television series or in a film or in theater or hell performance art or whatever, I just want to be like doing good things.
Thanks for doing this. It's actually really great to see young people so interested in their work and really engaged. So my question is, what films are you guys excited to see? Have you seen any, or which ones would you recommend to other people this season?
The Joker.
Yeah.
We're seeing Jojo Rabbit tonight, right? We are? Yeah. And it's going to be really interesting. We've been here for the Canadian press conference, and I was actually really moved and enthusiastic about the Canadian films featured this year. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, well done.
I was just wondering, as like artists and creatives, if you guys have any other outlets that you like go about besides acting or filmmaking or whatever it might be.
I don't. Just because I can't do anything else than act. So, and you know, I don't write or direct, or I'm pretty basic. So.
I took a dance class this year. Yeah, I went to dance school, and also I wrote a play, and I realized how actually it just completely feeds my acting career. You know, like dancing for obvious reasons, because not everything is language, and then writing, because you just get a deeper analysis of a text when you try it yourself. So yeah, I think everything's in everything, you know.
I'm by no means a pro, but I also like to dance, and I read a lot of books, and I like to paint.
I literally have nothing else going on in my life. This is like right now is my break, and so it looks like what I do is watch movies and looks like I'm at the View. So there you go.
And you wrestle.
And I do not wrestle. Don't try me. Don't wrestle me. Don't even bring it up a singlet.
I just act. No, but I like watching movies, and I write in my little diary and watch out the window and stare at the trees and daydream and just, life.
I'm just wondering, here at TIFF, films seem very electric and engaging, but once out in the regular world, there's a lot of same and remakes. And how do you feel about the scripts that you are being offered right now?
It's really interesting because, my whole career, I feel like I should be in the World Guinness Book of Records. I've done more slavery pictures than anyone else I know. 12 Years a Slave, Birth of a Nation, Roots, Underground. And now it's all about, the exceptional black male. So it's interesting that we're getting, it's good that we're having the conversations. Everything's very sensitive, very political right now. And we're seeking, everyone's looking for answers. Are the parts kind of great? Sure, yeah. Am I ready to do something that isn't about, race and privilege and power and how it all works in our country, and at least in America? Absolutely. So that's what I'm looking for. Is it a process? He's going to be patient.
Thank you so much, everybody. Give it up for our
Thank
TIFF
you.
Rising Stars.
Thanks for coming out, guys.